Hi, folks. I'm joined by Dan, working for our partner Phoenix Software, our new Modern Management Partner of the Year on this episode. He's going to explain all his experiences with his customers and more. So let's get started. Hi, folks. I'm super excited to be joined by Dan from our Modern Management Partner of the Year, Phoenix Software. He's going to explain all his experiences that he has with customers with both our products, Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe on our Windows IT Pro YouTube channel to stay up to date about all the latest news about Windows 365 and Windows in the cloud. If you have any questions during this live episode, feel free to just put them in the link below in the tech community. So with that, hi, Dan. How are you doing?
Hi, Christian. I'm brilliant. Thank you so much for having me. I'm a longtime admirer of your work, and it's an absolute pleasure to be on. So thank you.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate you saying that. I hope you're doing all right today. And can you tell a little bit like what you're doing and what your role is at Phoenix Software?
Yeah. So I'm a principal consultant for Phoenix Software, specializing in end user computing. My day-to-day typically consists of design, implement, and support, but I'm also in charge of the next-gen Windows workshops and the MCI Windows 365 standardized pilots. Phoenix Software has been serving the UK public sector for over 30 years, and our customers are some of the UK's largest organizations, including the NHS, emergency services, housing associations, universities, as well as smaller organizations, including schools and charities.
Well, that's super exciting. So that definitely makes your job feeling special as well, knowing those customers as well a little bit from work that I do as part of Microsoft. I also learned that you moved from the US to the UK. That's kind of exciting. I did the other way around. Can you tell a little bit more why you did that? Was it because you wanted to learn about real football?
Yes, I have a secret special passion with Newcastle United, and now we're in the Champions League. I can proudly say that. So just don't tell my wife, please. Thanks.
We will make sure we are not sharing this episode with the rest of your family. So, can you tell me a little bit more about your unique partner value proposition when it comes to endpoint solutions?
Yeah, Phoenix Software have been deploying end user computing, including desktop virtualization solutions for over 10 years, having successfully deployed thousands of virtual desktops across the United Kingdom, across a range of platforms, including VMware, Citrix, and Microsoft. Working closely with our partners, we take pride in our ability to select the most suitable components from a vendor's offerings, focusing on what our clients truly need. This approach allows us to create EUC solutions that are sustainable, cost-effective, robust, and most importantly, capable of meeting the high demands of the modern mobile workforce with exceptional speed. I've personally been working at Phoenix for almost 12 years now, and in that time, my colleagues and I are devoted to delivering the outcomes that truly make a difference to the public sector's employees, patients, tenants, and students.
Well, that's awesome, and that's probably also the reason why you recently have been named as Partner of the Year, and that's super exciting. So, can you share a little bit about what particularly impactful things you have done to help you build such a strong partnership with us?
Thank you so much. I can't stress enough how proud we are as a team to win this accolade. We're dedicated to Microsoft's modern management vision, driving our continuous innovation and delivering exceptional business value to our customers through the comprehensive Microsoft Modern Management portfolio. Our services span immersive experiences, co-sell ready pilots, professional services, and managed services. These offerings are meticulously designed to align with Microsoft standards and regulatory best practices. So by adapting to the evolving needs of the public sector, we empower organizations to deliver critical services while upholding the highest standards of performance and compliance. So our enrollment in the Next Gen Windows Jumpstart program has evolved our internal practice and expanded our reach across typical modern management engagements to support the adoption of Zero Trust, secure user devices, servers, infrastructure with Windows Defender for Endpoint, leverage Windows Update for Business, and deliver modern provisioning and upgrading through Windows Autopilot. Another key area of focus for us is Windows 365, something very close to my heart. And I'm proud to say we were selected to be the sole author of the Police Digital Services Blueprint. The blueprint forms part of the UK National Policing Strategy, which basically provides an agreed data and technology roadmap, which critically supports digital transformation across all the UK police forces. So we've done quite a lot this year.
Well, that's great. I'm, of course, very passionate about Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop, of course, too. So great to hear that, Dan. Many other partners are asking us how they should position Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop to their customers. So given your expertise in working with both products already, can you share some of those differences and tips and tricks there as well?
Sure. When I'm speaking with customers, one of the most prominent deciding factors in the Windows 365 versus AVD process typically comes down to the customer's current EUC adoption strategy and journey. For example, if the customer is currently utilizing Microsoft Intune or Config Manager for their physical Windows estate, using Autopilot, maybe have a VPN solution in place, or not as familiar with VDI or virtualized desktop workloads, Windows 365 is the perfect fit. And then depending on how mature that Intune environment is in terms of configuration profiles, we're able to complete a bespoke Windows 365 pilot in a day or two. For our many VDI customers still on-prem, and we do have quite a few, AVD is typically used as a springboard to expedite that hybrid cloud transformation, where existing internal skill sets are more familiar with backend infrastructure, networking, published applications, profile management solutions, and group policy. If you're looking for that true desktop as a service solution, a complete facilitated Microsoft service with no VDI skills required, I think Windows 365 is the obvious choice. For those customers who require remote app streaming, multi-session, non-persistent desktops, Citrix, VMware, hybrid cloud scenarios, low usage scenarios, and GPU acceleration, AVD is probably the winner. But ultimately, Christian, we're exploring the AVD and Windows 365 possibilities where applicable. And where possible, we're running proof of concepts and pilots of both products so the customer can evaluate both solutions before deciding.
Thanks, Dan. So can you share a little bit about your own personal experiences, how the market is shifting from on-premises based virtualization, RDS, VDI, and all those products and technologies being more complex and such to the move to Intune and SaaS-based services like Windows 365?
Yeah, great question, Christian. So, I've been delivering VDI for over 10 years, like I said previously. And in that time, a lot's changed for the better, especially for the administrators. As we're sort of progressively and natively moving more workloads to the cloud, I think it's an absolute no-brainer in terms of getting those workloads so we can make them more elastic, more readily available, with unlimited scale, performance. And we still have a lot of VDI customers on-prem, especially within the NHS that I'm working very closely with. So it's great that we've got a lot of customers embracing that cloud native strategy, embracing desktop as a service. But what's really interesting from my perspective is that we're still looking at kind of completing that transformation for a lot of customers who have legacy applications or still as on-prem requirements. So as we look to sort of progress with that, I'm really excited to be able to sort of take some of these clinical legacy applications and deliver that hybrid cloud solution, ultimately getting them where they need to be in the cloud. So.
Well, that's great. Thanks for sharing. It's always great to hear how other people's perspective kind of lands and how the products are evolving and how your experience and your preference is moving along there too. So switching back a little bit to the topic of differences between Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop, there are some key differences between those two products. So from your perspective, what's the unique value between each of those solutions and offering? Can you explain a little bit more there?
Sure. So both Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop offer unique benefits, and the choice between them depends on factors like management preferences, customization requirements, scalability needs, and existing infrastructure investments. In terms of differences, I think the number one, right, is OS support. The primary difference, Windows 365 doesn't support enterprise multi-session or Windows Server operating systems because they are dedicated non-multi-user desktops. Number two, admin interface. So all components of AVD are managed via the Azure portal, PowerShell, or third-party tools like Nerdio, whereas Windows 365 Enterprise Cloud PCs are managed exclusively via Microsoft Intune. In terms of like servicing, pricing, and scale, AVD infrastructure costs are based on Azure consumption. This includes the compute cost of running AVD session host VMs, the cost of OS disks, the usage of Azure files for FSLogic storage. All costs are based on actual usage. So if a VM is powered off, there's no compute charge. Whereas Windows 365 cloud PCs are not purchased as Azure usage-based infrastructure, but on a priced fixed monthly basis. Each cloud PC license provides the user with a certain amount of compute, RAM, and storage capacity. And then finally, at the end user layer, going back probably to the original use case from an end user perspective, a Windows 365 cloud PC is replicating the experience of a laptop in the cloud, where with AVD, users can consume a full Windows desktop experience, whether single or multi-session, access individual published applications as well. So I think with Windows 365, you're getting that personalized cloud PC available across devices, simple, turnkey to buy, deploy, predictable per user per month pricing, easily scalable compute and storage, no VDI or skills required. Whereas with AVD, you're gaining more control, flexibility, support for that multi-session SKU, support for remote app streaming, enabling special GPU and HPC workloads potentially, and finally, scalable compute and storage for optimized cost and experience.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. And how have you seen the Windows integration features as part of Windows 365, like Windows 365 boot and switch and offline, that are positioned for Windows 365 landing with your customers?
Oh, everyone's really excited for any of the release notes that come out on a monthly basis. Everyone's excited for the latest and greatest. I've got some jealous AVD customers at the moment, I'm going to be honest. But yeah, we're super excited to do, Windows 365 boot. We're actively looking into same thing for Windows 365 Frontline as well. So yeah, really excited to start utilizing some of these latest features of the product.
Diving a little bit deeper in that Windows 365 Frontline offering here, how does that, you think, from your perspective, change the value proposition and equation for customers and partners with the new licensing offering?
Yeah, we're so excited for the release of Windows 365 Frontline. I'm already speaking to a number of NHS customers about it. Just to summarize, for those who don't know, with Windows 365 Frontline, each license you purchase enables 3 people to access a cloud PC during their work hours. This means that instead of purchasing a license for every shift worker, you can purchase only enough licenses for the number of active employees at a given time. So for example, if you have 300 employees, but only 100 of them work at the same time, you only need to purchase 100 licenses to give all 300 employees access to their personalized, dedicated Windows Cloud PC during their shifts. In terms of extended use cases, this is a perfect fit for seasonal workers, shift workers, and healthcare scenarios. Frontline enables us to sort of promptly address requirements for onboarding external contractors. And when it comes to departments like the help desk, who operate in fixed shifts, Frontline is an obvious choice as well by allowing license sharing among shift workers. We're eliminating the need to purchase individual licenses that are underutilized ultimately. And since we're configuring and deploying and managing these cloud PCs through Intune, it's just like our physical machines. We can streamline that whole process with a single team without any extra infrastructure, resulting in ultimately significant time and cost savings for all. So to put it simply, Windows 365 Frontline is providing that same brilliant enterprise cloud PC experience and reducing costs.
Thanks for sharing those insights and your kind of early expertise around Windows 365 Frontline, because it's a new offering. So exciting to hear that. I will translate that to the PM group and the devs that built the product as well. Thanks for sharing. So thanks, Dan, for being part of this episode as well. How can people stay in touch with you, like social media and things like that?
Thanks for having me, Christian. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please follow us on our usual channels, LinkedIn, Twitter, or phoenixs.co.uk. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Dan. And thank you as well for watching. And please ensure to watch other episodes on demand on windowsinthecloud.com as well. And I hope to see you back next time. So thank you for watching.